We talk a lot about money on One Big Happy Life, but it's a work in progress. We didn't always know what we know now. And in this video, we talk about the things we wish we had known in our 20s.
Hey guys,
it's Joseph
and Tasha from One Big Happy Life. We make videos about how to find balance, build wealth, and live your happy. So be sure to thumbs up and subscribe for more videos to help you live your best life. So today we're talking about things that we wish that we had known in our 20s about money. And it's especially like a big deal for us because, Alexis is 16. She just started driving and we just did a vlog showing her starting to drive. All right. We need a student driver sticker. They should get those out.
Ooh, sorry.
Okay. And so she's asking us a lot of questions about, how does credit work? What is a credit card? Why is it a bad thing to pay the minimum payment on things? She's working on figuring out her own budget. And so there's just a lot of stuff that you have to learn to be an adult. And so it got us thinking about, what are some of the things that we wish that someone had told us when we were in our 20s or even younger? So that's what we're going to be sharing with you.
First, we wish that we knew to start saving for retirement early, because the earlier you save, the less you need to be putting away each month to reach your retirement goals. Because the biggest factors in saving for retirement are time and then the compounding interest. So the more time you have, the easier it will be, tremendously easier.
Yeah, even tiny amounts a month can end up adding up to big amounts. So in one of our videos, we talked about how we saved, I think, our first $200,000. That was last May. And when we both first started working after law school in our late 20s, we put the minimum amount away to get the employer matching, which back then for both of us, it was just 5%. So between us, our contributions and the employer matching contributions, we were probably putting away $100 a month, but that slowly built up to, I think it took us 5 years to save up our first $200,000. And that was last year. And we're more than halfway to another 100,000. So we'll hit 300,000 this year. It just snowballs, and little amounts can go a long way. And so to give you another example, so if you started saving when you were 22 and you put away $250 a month, you'd have $1 million by the time you were 65.
That's huge. $1 million. Now, you might end up wanting more than that, but that's only $250 a month. That doesn't mean that if you increased it as you got older, you'd have even more money. Now, on the other hand, if you waited until you were 35, you would have to save $700 a month to reach that $1 million goal at 65. That's a lot more money. That's almost 3 times as much money per month.
And I think what causes a lot of people not to save when they're younger, when they're in their early to mid 20s, and a lot of our subscribers are at that age. So this is probably really timely for you, but it probably just doesn't feel like you have that much money. But the truth is it never feels like you have that much money, especially not after you have kids and you have your house and now you have your car. It's just, you can't help but have the costs of your life, even if you're very frugal. Once you start adding more people into it, more people cost more money to maintain. So it's better to just start getting into the habit of saving small amounts and just squirreling it away so that you get into the habit and start to see how those tiny amounts can add up over time. So yeah, that's a big one. The next one is having insurance, the importance of having adequate insurance and always having insurance coverage. And there are several different types of insurance that you should do your best to always have. They include life insurance. If you're single, then you probably don't need this. But the minute you're married or have any dependents, then life insurance, short-term disability insurance, long-term disability insurance for if something happens to you and you're hospitalized for an extended period of time, you'll still have some money coming in. Health insurance, dental insurance, renters and homeowners insurance, and an umbrella insurance policy once you start making the big bucks and having a good amount of money saved up. Oh, and of course, auto insurance. Don't drive without car insurance. But just wanted to tell a quick story about what happened to me because I skimped on dental insurance. So when I was pregnant with Alexis, let me take it way back, I like the calcium just completely leached out of my teeth. And so I ended up getting cavities and getting a filling when I was in the military. So this was in 2002. When I was in law school, I did not have dental insurance. I had a crazy expensive, awesome health insurance plan, but it did not cover dental insurance. So now it's 2009 and my one of my molars starts to ache and I don't have dental insurance. And so I'm like, well, I'm not going to go to the dentist. I don't have dental insurance. It's fine. It can wait a year or two until I start working full time and then I'll get it checked out. Well, it got worse and worse and worse to where I couldn't even bite on that side anymore. So when I finally went to the dentist, I needed a root canal, which had I gone earlier, it would have just been, the cracked filling could have been replaced with another filling. But I needed a root canal. And then the root canal failed, so I got another root canal. Now, this is all without insurance, so I'm paying thousands of dollars for each root canal. And then 2 years later, the root canal failed again, but the orthodontist assured me, not orthodontist, endodontist assured me he could save the tooth. And so then they did another root canal. Well, last year, the root canal failed again, and they had to pull my tooth. And so I decided, now I have insurance, thankfully. And so I decided to get a dental implant. So last year they pulled the tooth and did a bone graft to build my jaw back up because there was all this damage from all the root canals. And so this year, later on this year, we will be paying a couple $1,000s for me to get an implant put in my mouth and a crown. And so long story short, had I not skimped on insurance way back when, I mean, I've probably spent $7,000-8,000 on this tooth, like by the time we're done putting in this next implant. And that is just a lot of money that, you know, had I just invested in a quality dental plan, if one was available, I could have saved myself a lot of money.
And one of the reasons that insurance is so important goes right into our next point, which is you are your most valuable asset because of your earning potential. And so you want to protect it with insurance, with like the disability and health insurance, because you need to keep going. But also you need to start cultivating it early, because doing small things earlier on, like even if you're going to get education, going to college, you know, really start seeking out job opportunities and job experience that will help you build your career. And then the same for formal education. Get the education that you need that will really be useful. Now, it's okay to spend a little bit of time in college and during your life to kind of pause and learn about new things, but recognize that you need to earn income to reach all of your life goals, some amount, right? And the more you have, the easier it is to reach those.
Now, that doesn't mean necessarily going for the most lucrative job that you can find. I would say that one of the other things that we've learned is that whatever it is you want to do, there is someone out there making a really, really good living at it. And so if you want to, whatever it is, you can make a ton of money doing something that you're passionate about. And that's something that we work on with Alexis and teaching her about that. So the next thing that we wish that we had really taken to heart in our 20s is the importance of automating our savings and really locking that money away. So in my 20s, I had a budget. I was good. Like we talked about this before. I've always had a budget because I've always had Alexis. And I always had a savings category in my budget every single month, whether it was like 100 or 200, okay, would technically get transferred over to savings. But then towards the end of the month, when the coffers were looking kind of dry and I'm like, oh, but pizza. And then it would just get transferred over. And that was horrible because the accounts were right next to each other and it was so easy to do. Now we don't do that. We lock things away. And over time, now we've gotten better at it. So we can be good about not actually touching the money. But in the beginning, it was locking it away and watching it slowly build and learning how good it felt to have that money sitting there and building. And I know a lot of people are all about being debt-free, but for me personally, I have never felt better, more amazing, more happier about, or have any happier about my money decisions than I am right now, having a 6-figure bank account. that just feels really, really good. Better than any time in my life when I've been debt-free but living paycheck to paycheck.
The next thing is always get better at money. Always keep learning. That's something that we just really didn't do in our 20s. I didn't. I knew some about money, and of course, my undergraduate degree is all about money, right? But more like business money, not personal finance. They don't teach that anymore. And so if I had really looked into it and really started to learn, my finances would have been much better through college, law school, and we'd be even better off now.
Yeah, I took a personal finance class in undergrad, but I didn't realize that it was something that I needed to start doing like right now, like with investing and stuff like that. I thought it was something, well, once I'm an adult, once I'm out of college, out of law school, once I'm in my full-time job, that's when I start saving. And the answer is no. No, you start saving immediately. Always put something away, which brings me to our next point, which is to find a way to invest, because investing is really where your money starts working for you, working hard for you, working while you sleep. You make money while you sleep. And so there are great ways to invest, even more so now than when we were in our 20s, to invest when you don't have a lot of money. And we're going to be doing videos on that in the investing series. But now you can start investing with like nothing, and apps will just invest your change for you, which is awesome.
But even when we were in our 20s, fortunately, the internet brought along discount brokerages, and so things had gotten much cheaper even for us. And if I had stuck with the investing that I was doing then, it would just be incredibly good now. So just find a way to invest some amount, and we are definitely going to show you how to invest with almost no money at all.
Then the last point, and honestly kind of the most important point, is that your finances don't define who you are or your worth as a person. And I think a lot of people, when their finances aren't exactly where they want it to be, they take it personally. They feel very stressed about it. They feel a lot of shame when it comes to money. And that's one of the reasons that drove us to do this channel, to make our $1 million in debt story, and to talk about debt management in a way that allows people to not take a blow to their self-esteem because their finances aren't perfect.
We want everybody to learn and make great decisions, but living in the past, living with horrible regret, being horribly upset with yourself, that's not productive. And so we want you to focus on the future and what
having
you can do.
Having a positive money mindset, because at the end of the day, money is just money. It is there to serve you and to serve your life. And so we can, like one of our points is always get better. So you can always get better, regardless of where you were before. Just work on making positive changes in your life that will allow you to both, yes, enjoy your life today, but also plan for your financial future. And I think, again, 20-year-olds, it's the hardest thing to think about, planning for your financial future. But all of our tips or things we wish that we had known all revolve around really thinking about our financial future and planning for our 30 and 40 and 50 and 60-year-old selves, and not just living in the moment of our 20-year-old selves. So that is it. We'd love to hear some things that you wish that you had known down below, because I'm sure it'll help us all out and help Alexis out, because we'll pass it on to her. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.